Hello everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day today. I got a little unboxing to share with you guys. This is obviously coming from Amazon, and it's something that I recently posted on, I guess my channel here, because this item went on super sale. The unpackaging knife is going to be the CJRB Prado. The reason why it looks a little odd is because I did some customized work to it, and I love it all the more for it. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to be the first thing I've ever checked out from Trevisa Knives. I know it's upside down. I am an affiliate with them, but I've never promoted any of their stuff because I've never been sent any of their stuff, even though reaching out multiple times. So, I tried. I did what anybody who wants to promote stuff does, reaches out. And if you get crickets, well, then that just goes to show that they just don't really care. So I went ahead and picked this up just to see what all the hype is about. How do you open this stupid thing? Is it a slide? Yep, that's how it works. This is a really nice box, actually. Look, it's like goldish, and this other one, it's like a blue. That's really cool. Okay, well, anyway, this item went on super sale, and I'm probably one of the few channels that has actually shown this off because the locking mechanism on it is not really something that's popular nowadays. You'll see when I get into it. That's a cool looking sticker, kind of funky looking. Nice little cloth. That's cool, little microfiber cloth. Always enjoy having those around. Is this another sticker? No, this is just a QC card. That's cool that they include that little pass stamp there. This is I guess a manual guide of sorts. Sure. A baggie? Alright. Sure. Here is the star of the show. Very well padded in here. Let's get that away. Little Ziploc action right here. This thing is pretty weighty for how relatively small it is. We'll get the weight on it. We'll throw a couple size comparisons up. But yeah, you know what? I didn't even bother mentioning the name of this model. This thing is typically around, I don't know, $50 or so, but it went on super sale for the all blacked out variation. There are, I believe, 3 in total. So I guess that's the name of it. Array. Sure, the Array. 14C28 blade material, black G10, so fully blacked out. I personally don't care for the all blacked out look. I wanted to check it out, but I wasn't willing to pay full retail price for it because probably the same reason why a lot of other people didn't want to pick this up. It's got a back lock, and for any older person, and I mean 50 and above that's watching this, you grew up with backlock knives. I have plenty of backlock knife experience. I love them. I don't really think there's anything wrong with them, but they are outdated, undoubtedly outdated. There's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it. So before getting into all that other nonsense, again, picking up the all blacked out one just because it was the cheapest, around $28. That's pretty freaking good. So, ooh, nice. I thought that was going to be a little stiffer, honestly. Weirdly enough, there are bearings within the pivot. Is this going to come crashing down on my finger? No. Maybe if I really push it in. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's a little... Ooh, that's weird. It's a little sketchy. Did it get me there? Nah, I'm good. Can I reverse flick? Close. You know what? Dude, that's actually really nice. That's hold on. Wow. That's actually pretty satisfying. I'm surprised. So, as far as I know, the only person again that I know of that's shown this off is Everyday City Carry. Ray, I believe is his name. Cool individual, very well known in the community. He promotes anything and everything. He's a hustler for sure, grinding every day. He does what he does. Pretty cool content, and I enjoy his attitude overall. But he showed this off very briefly, and he was kind of harshing on, you know, the old school locking mechanism and how it's really outdated, and this may not essentially be that great of a mix of a modern traditional. You have a modern look, right? The silhouette, very general shaped, you know, nice little decorative swedge up here, a little drop point action, the way that they pushed back. Look at that. Look how they did that. I do definitely enjoy that quite a bit. It's actually very, very thin behind the edge. That's nice. I like that. It's not super tall of a blade. I mean, simple studs, 14C28N, not a bunch of nonsense on the blade. This is honestly a really, really clean and simple build, but having that backlog, it's just, it can really hold it back when it comes to sales. And because of how far down that I get myself, yeah, I got myself right there. So that is the number one reason why this knife is not going to sell that well. It's because while on something like Spyderco's, for example, this is a huge, huge favorite of mine, and I know a lot of other people, but do you see where the locking mechanism is? It's a little bit further up on the handle. I can disengage and look at all that safety space right there when it comes down to my finger. So I can one-hand this all day. Hold on. There we go. Have it come down. The same thing goes for the Native Chief, the really large one, like 4-point-something inch blade. I would like to get one of those on the channel. But that's why this thing is so good, because this is, while a modern silhouette and shape with obviously modern technology and design, material and the bi-directional texturing and how minimal everything is constructed, this is a wonderful, wonderful tool right here. Absolutely. But this, it's just a little too far down. If it was, I kid you not, maybe just half an inch a little further up, because you do have this space, you really got to come down here and really, really press it in for it to overcome that hump in, or that lobe portion that it rolls over. But you end up having that dig right into your knuckle there, and that's where it'll land. This is just on my hands. I have large to extra large size hands, but slimmer fingers, so I don't typically run into ergonomic issues. Now, ergonomically speaking, this is a nice little, I'd say medium-sized knife. It's not that large. Let's do a quick little weight check. You do have, you know, nicely contoured G10, decently skeletonized, full blacked out steel liners there. They are proud, or excuse me, they're actually flush, but you know, they're full thickness. They're not nested or anything fancy. You do get a nice simple bent steel pocket clip, flat screws, and it's very nice that while this is a ambidextrous style lock, and with the studs as well, lefties can enjoy something like this. You can flip it to the other side. So lefty love, that's pretty awesome. I definitely advocate for that kind of stuff. Let's get the weight on this. Again, right out of the packaging, this does definitely feel like it weighs, it's a little denser than I'd like it to be. They also have, is this a metal backspacer? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this backspacer portion with the lanyard loop, it's textured too. It's not that rough, but you know, it's nicely rounded off. It's so it's adding extra weight. It's steel, of course, I'm assuming. 4.5, 4.6. Yeah, for the weight, for the size, it's a little heavy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's a little heavy. But you know, that action, it's really tripping me out, because on something like this, I can finally reverse flick it now. On something like this, I really want to be able to have that super tight feel in the pivot if it's gonna be, you know, a traditional-ish kind of backlock two-hand thing, you know, where you go like this, or the camera there. But it is still fun that I can reverse flick it now. So as with any knife, it's going to take you some time to break it in. But one thing that is definitely bugging me is that, like, even pressing it to where it's like almost flush, it doesn't come down. So yeah, it's not. I gotta like really like dig in there for it to release, and even then. So yeah, this is kind of an awkward mix of design ideas here. You know, you have a nice silhouette, a beautiful utilitarian blade shape, a great feel in hand, the deployment, the bearings feel good, the build construction feels great, but the addition of that back lock, mainly the positioning of it and the tolerance feel of it all, it's just a little, it's questionable. Side to side, minimal. Up and down, you know what? To be completely honest with you guys, I'm feeling some up and down. And that's not something that brings a lot of confidence to me, especially on what should be a very sturdy locking mechanism. Now, going back to my Native 5, yes, built in the US, of course, but this knife has been through hell, been sharpened many times. This is one of my favorite outside yard working knives. I've taken it on multiple camping trips, and yeah, even though it's an M4, it cleans up well enough. But this, solid. And it's on the cheapy FRN. This is the lightweight version. This has no extra added stability of, you know, the structural rigidity of G10 or the steel liner variations. You know, this is as plain Jane and as simple and as, you know, minimalistic as you can get for the Native 5. And this thing, I mean, it's a little bulldog. I love using this little thing, right? This, on the other hand, it's a little awkward. Let's do some size comparisons. I know it's a little weird looking with an all blacked out background. Let's do some stuff that I think should be around the same size. Here we have the CMB Made Knives Predator, and it is actually tip to tail exactly the same as the Predator there. Here's this guy, Pyrite Light CGRB. It's a little bit shorter, Could be just that blade shape potentially. Let's get this out of here. We could show that Native 5 just to show how much smaller it is. There's a whole inch shorter. What else? Manix 2 lightweight Spyderco, a little bit larger. Vision FG by Civivi, damn near the same tip to tail, so that's nice. Let me look for a couple more, and that'll be it for size comparisons. Then we'll transition to an edge test. Yeah, the factory edge test. Here is a heavily customized Assault T Model 1 by Monacola Knives. This is actually a smidge longer overall, just the tiniest bit, but for the most part pretty darn close to this Trevisa here. What else I got? What else? Let's see. No, I think everything else is a lot larger than it. Here's a Stinger. The Wii and the Civivi Stinger should be exactly the same tip to tail, but it's still shorter. This Trevisa there. This little dude, Loki 2 by Concept. Yeah, there's not much else that's really worth showing off in comparison. So that's gonna be it for that. Again, that action is really tripping me out because it is very enjoyable. All right, let's do some paper tests. This isn't gonna prove much of anything other than the cleanliness of the edge from the factory. Let's take a look at that edge before we start using it. I mean, it looks pretty consistent tip to heel. We know we could always do a lot better once we go to take it to our own personal sharpening systems. Something like this, again, I'm very happy that there's so much room so far away from the plunge grind You could see it right there, that dark space here. That's where the plunge is. So meaning that all this space right here is damn near the same thickness for quite a ways up. And, you know, I'd be able to really make this edge last, which is cool for a knife that's relatively cheap when it goes on super sale. Again, I got this for around $28. I can't complain, really, for 28 bucks. For full price at, I think it was like 50 or 55 bucks, yeah, I probably wouldn't keep something like this. I may even return it, you know. And you know what, the up and down, it could absolutely work itself out. I'll take it apart, I'll mess around with it, do my thing. You know, hey, you know what, this could end up being my next favorite, like, working knife, you know, my yard knife, whatever. But yeah, see, that's the thing that's bugging me right there, is that I really gotta dig my nail into it to get it to depress, and my hand positioning is so far back that it comes crashing down on my knuckle there. Hey, you know what, maybe I could throw some Skiff thick bearings in here, thick washers, and slow down the action a little bit so it doesn't come down on my hand that fast once it does actually release. But let's go ahead and check out that factory edge. Again, the comfort, the ergonomics is good, I can't complain. It's all right. See, that's a pretty aggressive. What's going on there? Yeah. This is a really, really aggressive, not so well refined factory edge. Well, maybe I just gotta check out some other stuff from Travisa. If you guys have had stuff from this brand before, you know, maybe they just put a little bit more sauce, a little bit more care and detail to the more premium stuff, because they absolutely do put out a lot of premium stuff. This is clearly, you know, of their budget line, but I really enjoy brands that put the same amount of effort from all across the board. So yeah, it's really loud and obnoxious as it goes through the paper. I've done this paper test a million times. I know what a good edge should sound like, and this is not it. So I'm not really happy with how this edge is out of the box. I do not accept it. I will immediately go and sharpen this thing up, because I don't want to have this knife with an edge as poor as this is. And this is really just my standard. I have very high standards. While I am not perfect, or I do not claim to be a professional sharpener, I know that something like this has far more higher potential than what they delivered here out of the packaging. So as of right now, this isn't that great. You know, awkwardness with the positioning of the back lock, I think that's a little, you know, weird little thing I'm not too happy about. Like, the ergonomics is great. I think it looks great. The feel in hand, the pocket clip design. It's a deep carry pocket clip, but you still have a whole 3/4 of an inch of the ass end sticking out. I just hopped out of the pool because I got a notification that this got delivered. My freaking shorts are wet. So yeah, hey, you know what? In wet basketball shorts, this thing feels good in and out of the pocket. Can't complain. But that action, it's so weird. I really do enjoy the action on this thing, because the combination of the ceramic bearings and the tension of a rather light back lock. Like, I've had some pretty stiff back locks before. This is on the lighter side, so you know what, it could loosen up over time. It could, you know, ride a little bit smoother and break in and possibly, you know, fall when I do a casual disengagement. It could have the potential of getting to that point, but right out of the box, not so much. This really is kind of a two-hand closer, which is a real drag nowadays when trying to compete in the premium or budget, which, you know, the budget market is vicious, absolutely vicious, and stuff like this will be left in the dust by miles for the next best thing that comes out. a company like Trevisa, I can't really see them updating this or putting much effort to fix some of the little issues. They'll probably just discontinue it at some point, run some super sales, and then never look back and never try to lock back ever again, because numbers on sales speak volumes to overseas companies, any company, of course. You know, you got to make money. But looking at this thing, it's perfectly centered. You know, you can see there, I know it's all blacked out, but it's perfectly centered. They could have squeezed in a little bit more blade length there, but who am I to complain? So, but I do like the little filler square right there. The body hardware, let me check that real quick. That looks like it's T6. I got a T6 in here. Let me close this thing. Body hardware, yeah, it's T6 for the plug. T6, another T6. I'm assuming T6 for the studs. Wait, what? Oh, okay, but the studs are a T8. That's cool. And the pivot is a T8. So, okay, that's just a little... that's weird. A lot of the times I see the studs T6, but this has practically all T6 construction, and the studs are actually T8 as well as a pivot. So not that great, really just a personal preference. The tooling on the hardware looks about average. I can't really complain much about it. I'm just looking at it really close off camera. Let's see if we could focus a little bit. Maybe that helps. Yeah, I can't complain about the tooling of the hardware. Not bad. But again, little weighty for its size. The deployment, the smoothness, the enjoyability really does get kind of crushed by the, you know, poor choice of a locking mechanism and poor execution of said locking mechanism. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to crap on backlock. I clearly know how to enjoy a backlock, loving, you know, my my native 5 there, but this is not at that level. It really isn't. So who knows? In another couple weeks, I'll come with a full review. I'll do some sharpening and take this apart. If anybody's interested, I'll do some shorts and make like size with my little Skiffs card, little card right here to measure the pivot and the thickness of the bearings there. I'm running out of Skiff supply, so I'm gonna have to make an order sometime soon. So I probably don't even have something that's gonna fit this, but hopefully this was educational and entertaining to somebody out there. If this is something that has been sitting in your car and you've seen this model and you're just curious if anybody of any significance has picked it up and willing to share some of thoughts, yeah, these are my thoughts so far. I think if you can snag one of these on super sale, I don't think it's that bad of a knife, but no, do not buy one of these at full price. Stay the hell away. That's just what I'm saying right now. I don't care if that hurts, you know, my sales or commissions on being an affiliate. I don't care. The money does not matter. While it's nice, I'd rather be upfront and honest with my people, my audience, than just try to make a quick buck. So yeah, get one of these on super sale if it piques your interest enough. If you want to burn, you know, $28, go ahead. I think it's decent enough for that. Just to kick around and throw around as a yard knife, sure. Truck knife, car knife, like, doesn't matter. Emergency knife, you can do that. And I got myself again. All right, whatever. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed already, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I put more videos and content coming your guys' way. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.